You're the funny one. People feel good around you. You know how to read a room. You know exactly when to say the thing, when to land the joke, when to keep it light. And they laugh. They always laugh. And then you go home. You close the door, and the version of you that nobody ever sees comes out. Quiet, heavy, thinking about things that would genuinely surprise the people who think they know you. This is the psychology of people who are funny in groups and deeply serious when they're alone.
Let's be clear about what this is and what it isn't. This isn't a mask. Not exactly. The humor is real. You're not faking it when you make people laugh. That part of you genuinely exists. You find things funny. You enjoy the energy of a good moment. You're not performing from nothing. But here's what most people miss. Humor and depth are not opposites. The funniest people in every room are often the ones carrying the most. Not because suffering creates comedy, though sometimes it does, but because the people who think the most deeply about human behavior are also the ones who can find the precise angle at which that behavior becomes absurd. You don't make people laugh despite how seriously you think. You make people laugh because of it. Psychologists who study humor have found something consistent. The people who use it most skillfully in social settings tend to score significantly higher in emotional intelligence and abstract thinking. What looks like lightness from the outside is actually a very fast, very complex cognitive process. You're reading the room, reading the people, tracking what everyone needs, calculating what's safe to say and what isn't, finding the gap between expectation and reality, and stepping into it at exactly the right moment. That's not a shallow process. That's a sophisticated one, and it costs something. Because when you spend that much energy managing the emotional temperature of a room, the moment you're alone, all of that processing has to go somewhere.
Here's the part nobody talks about. When you're the funny one, people stop asking how you are. Not because they don't care, but because you've trained them, unconsciously, to expect a certain version of you. The version that deflects with a joke. The version that makes it lighter. The version that never needs anything. And so over time, people stop looking beneath the humor. They enjoy the surface. They rely on it, even. You become the person who makes everyone else feel better, and you quietly carry whatever you're carrying alone. There's a specific kind of loneliness in that. Not the loneliness of having no one around. The loneliness of being surrounded by people who know you make them laugh, but don't know what you think about at 2 a.m. This pattern usually starts early. In childhood, humor is often discovered as a regulation tool. A tense family dinner diffused with the right comment. An uncomfortable situation made safe with a joke. A version of yourself that other people responded well to. That got rewarded with laughter, with warmth, with inclusion. And you noticed, when I'm funny, things go better. When I make people laugh, they like me. When I lighten the mood stays light. So you got good at it. Very good. But you never stopped being the person underneath, the one who noticed everything, who thought about everything, who lay awake processing what others moved through without a second thought. The humor became a front door. The seriousness was always the house. The shift that matters isn't learning to be less funny. The humor is a gift. Keep it. The shift is this. Stop letting it be the only thing people are allowed to see. The people worth keeping in your life, they can handle both versions. They can laugh with you on a Thursday night and sit in silence with you on a Sunday afternoon. And know that both of those are equally real. If the only people around you are there for the performance, that's not connection. That's an audience. And you are not here to perform. You are here to be known. If this video described you, I want you to hear something. The depth you carry isn't a burden to hide behind humor. It's the most interesting thing about you. The thoughts you have alone, the things you turn over in the quiet, those are worth more than every joke that ever landed. Find the people who want both. The laugh and the silence. The joke and the 2 a.m. thought. Those people exist, and you deserve to be known by them.